Welcome back to Aggie Pride, the UC Davis football podcast. We're in San Luis Obispo, underneath some beautiful art in the Secunda's beautiful home. And Dwight's back.
And it smells like something. It smells like victory.
It does smell like victory. Oh, man. Battle for the Golden Horseshoe ends in another Aggie victory. That's 9 straight, people.
This episode is sponsored by Larson Real Estate Team, Bob and Jan Larson. You already know the name. They've been incredible supporters of UC Davis football, this podcast, and of course, they're Land's parents, now cheering him on as he suits up for the New England Patriots. Off the field, Bob and Jan are one of the top real estate teams in the region, helping folks buy and sell across Idaho and Eastern Oregon. Whether it's a home, land, or investment property, they bring experience, hustle, and heart to every deal. So if you're looking to make a move or just want honest guidance, check out larsonteam.com or follow them on Instagram at Larson Real Estate. Huge thanks to Bob and Jan for backing Aggie Pride. The Aggie Football Fund provides essential gap funding for the UC Davis football program, empowering the team to access vital resources for player development and program success. It also reconnects and engages former football alumni to maintain the legacy of Aggie Pride and perpetuity. Through direct and flexible support, the AFF bridges funding gaps while fostering a thriving alumni community. Visit AggieFootballFund.com for more information. Aggie Pride is proud to partner with JG Graphics in Rancho Cordova, the spot for custom apparel, embroidery, and printing. Aggie alum Pete Povey and his team helped us design and produce our Aggie Pride hats, and the quality is next level. If you need gear for your business, team, or next big event, Pete will take care of you from first idea to final stitch. Support a fellow Aggie and check them out at jg.graphics or visit their shop in Rancho Cordova. We've got a new home for Aggie Pride, a UC Davis football podcast. Visit AggiePridePodcast.com. It's the hub for everything. All our episodes, ways to subscribe for early access, and our brand new Aggie Pride classic hats in navy or beige. While you're there, sign up so you never miss an update, and follow us on all our socials for game day content, throwbacks, and behind the scenes. And don't forget, like, follow, and share the pod so we can keep growing the Aggie fan community.
And we may be a little bit tired, and we may be speaking a little bit quieter on this podcast. And that's because my children are upstairs sleeping in their warm beds. And Dwight and I just crushed some wood stocks because we wanted to feel like we were in college, ran into the Carter Vargas clan, and just made our way home. And we're drinking a particular whiskey beverage, Dwight, which you should explain because it'll help kind of give the audience a reminder of where you've been recently.
Yeah, so this is Bullet Bourbon with a splash of sparkling water. No?
Yeah, I did do sparkling water.
Okay. Yeah, I just got back from Ethiopia. Avoided a lot of the jet lag, which is why I can make the trip. And in Ethiopia, my mother-in-law was a big fan of some Johnny Walker Black Label with a splash of
EOD small.
Yeah,
Good for her. Yeah, good for her.
She's a real deal.
She'll throw down some whiskey, sparkling water.
Her and I were the ones, the real ones. But yeah, she would put a splash of sparkling water in there. So homage to Aster, who is still in Ethiopia for a couple more weeks. But we are back, and I'm fired up to be back. My voice is a little gone because of all the yelling at the game. But yeah, it was incredible to follow the pod as a fan from thousands of miles away. And shout out to Bispo, Danny, Nick King, Ari, Megan, all the guests we had on the pod in my absence. It was a great month. But I am fired up to be back. That's why I couldn't miss this weekend. And Brock and I were both up at 4 this morning. I was up at 4 to get on the road to come down for the game. Why were you up at 4?
Yeah, so I've shared this on the pod. Last year, I can have sleeping issues. Praise God, it's really just because I'm excited. I'm just excited about life, and I'm excited about football. And my son is born from the same cloth. And so he's been jazzed about this weekend. For those who were at the game, you might have seen me, slow man, running at halftime, chasing him on the sidelines while he was like chomping on a hot dog. But yeah, he was just too jazzed. So up at 4, comes in our room, says, I want to go downstairs. And yeah, it was like there was no way. I read books. I did a like full like mental relaxation, like the full body thing. I tried all the things to try to get him to like calm his brain and body down, and it wasn't happening. So I'm
football
dog ass tired.
In football and in parenting, you come in with a game plan. You have a sense for how things are going to go, and then stuff happens, and you have to react and try everything you can. So,
yeah. So we're here, and we just watched UC Davis beat Cal Poly 34-27 at formerly known as Alex G. Spano Stadium, now Mustang Memorial Field or something like that. We actually had administrator at Cal Poly towards the end of the game ask us, maybe because we looked like suckers, what we thought of the overall game day experience at Cal Poly. And so I will give our answers. I gave a politically correct answer. I said, well, this 2/3 of the stadium is beautiful, which I do believe. The homestand, the John Madden Center that's in construction, and then the new end zone where they have like the standing seating underneath that bar. It reminds me of the San Jose Earthquake Stadium, if anyone's been there before, where they have like this very long bar at the end of the field and then all these like standing options where you can just have a little bar top for your drink. Anyways, who really cares? But one side of the stadium's hella old. But the game, there's a lot to say about the weekend. We said, oh, we'll just hop on here and do 20 minutes because it's been a while. SLO's the happiest place on earth. It's absolutely beautiful. It's homecoming. They just upset Sac State on the road. They have an offense that just looks like the offense they probably wanted to have the first year they transitioned from doing the triple option, and they've just never been able to put it together. Well, this year, the quarterback's getting the ball out on time. I mean, it was Bo Kelly today.
it was a different Bo Kelly.
Yeah,
he played a great game.
Yeah, they threw for 270. We did hold Michael Briscoe in check, but the other kid with the weird last name had 2 touchdowns uncovered, the first one and the third one of the game. But
yeah, they schemed up some great offensive looks. Like they were playing like they had nothing to lose. I think that's part of being the number 7 team in the country. Forget about this. We focus on ourselves, but other teams are coming for Davis. Like this was a rivalry game, so obviously everyone's going to get up for it. But this game reminded me that every team we play is coming for us. For many teams, it's going to be the best team they play in the year.
Yeah.
That's going to be true the rest of the way with a couple teams too. So yeah, the Cal Poly was going all out. They had a bunch of trick plays and a fake punt. So they on offense, spread the ball around, had some trickeration. The last touchdown was a double pitch pass.
It was the Philly special. It was the Philly special.
Yeah. So kudos to them. I mean, they put up a great fight. They have an offense that actually clicks. They could run the ball a little bit, although we should
not really. No, fact check. 21 carries or 31 carries, 71 yards, 2.3 yards.
Yeah, do the math on that. I was being a little too generous. But if if Bo Kelly, whoever the quarterback is, playing at the level that they played today, they'll be able to throw the ball around the field.
Yeah, and they did. And they had Briscoe, but he didn't really get a bunch of the he only had 3 catches, 37 yards, like I mentioned. But let's go through the game a little bit. We just did it on the way back. Starts out 7-0, best drive of the game for Cal Poly. Do we start slow? I don't know. Maybe just a question. Defensively, it feels like we struggled in the first half against Southern Utah, at least this first drive. And then I think we really tightened it up defensively after the first drive. We have been talking about our run defense and our pass rush. Run defense, little leaky, pass rush, elite. Well, today, 0 sacks. Really impressed with Cal Poly's, I think, quarterback and his ability to get rid of the ball on time. Reminded me of like a Miles Hastings. And the run defense was great. And that's a big deal because I've mentioned this before. Like, you want to be good and play deep into the playoffs and that sort of thing. You got to stop the run up front. And, we'll talk about it. The Porter brothers not playing. Not a very, we're worried about that situation.
And it changes the identity of Blue Force. I mean, obviously it's next man up, but the reality is the captain of the defense and the co-captain of the defense not being present in the game. I think that was a little bit of the adjustment at the beginning. Like this defense had to find their identity. I think they eventually did.
Yeah. And we talked about it, the 2 replacements. Not that Jaden Stanley was a replacement, but he's one of the safeties who we're looking to. Him, Cole Batson, and Kalani Riddick are kind of those 3 guys where we know that more is going to be placed upon their shoulders. But Jaden Stanley specifically, after having a really good game last week against Weber State, came up clutch again today. I felt like he made a lot of really impact plays on defense. And then Jackson Sievers, honestly, from the first defensive snap, fills, makes a play, gets up, like kind of thumping the chest, like, let's go. Capistrano kid was one of the best players on defense, had a TFL, had 11 tackles. And, when we look at who's going to be that guy to replace just the sheer volume of tackles that the Connors brothers have, Jackson really stepped up. Richena only had 3 tackles. He had another TFL, and that's kind of been his MO this year. He's not necessarily a volume tackle guy, but every time he makes a play, it's a big negative for the offense. The interceptions, the TFLs, and so the forced fumbles. I believe he's forced fumble or recovered a fumble. So Richena was there, but yeah, I mean, I would say the defense tightened up after that initial drive. Offensively, and this maybe is a theme somewhat this year too, like took a little bit to get going. We definitely saw that last week against Weber State. Took a bit to get going, and let's just jump to it though, Dwight. There's a lot we'll talk about the game. We love the atmosphere. We loved the Cal Poly tailgate beforehand. We got to meet I got to meet, you already know him, Paul Hassan, AJ's dad, who transferred from Washington State, then Wake Forest, then back to Davis, where he played at Davis High School. And now it's like that 6th alignment where we had an O-lineman go down today, but got to meet him at the parents' tailgate, which was great. But this game is really the best college game of his short career so far for normally the most important player on any football team. So Dwight, I'll give you the mic to chat about our Del Oro local stud.
CFP, Caden freaking Pinnock. I was chomping at the bit. You asked
Look at Dwight's nails. Check it out.
My daughter is an aspiring nail tech, and I am her test case. So, yep.
Back to Caden.
Yeah. You asked me who I was excited to see. Obviously, I haven't seen anyone in person until this game. And top of my list was Caden Pinnock. Obviously, Jordan Fisher, Carter Vargas as well. Cal Poly comes out and scores. Offense is getting going. It's like, what's our answer going to be? And it came in the form of an absolute next level pass to the back corner of the end zone. Caden Pinnock to Zach Jones. On the stat sheet, 36-yard pass, but it was more like a 50-yard throw on the run. Dot precision accuracy. I was so impressed by that. And Caden went on to put together, like you said, the best performance of his short college career so far. Over 300 yards passing. I think 21 of 26 rushed for a touchdown. He really drove the entire offense, him and the receiving core, including tight ends. So Mitch Dixon, Ian Simpson both had big chunk plays. Zach Jones, 2 touchdowns, both really impressive catches. Stacey Dobbins, maybe the catch of the game, went to review, told the ref, that's a tough one to overturn. And he agreed. It was a great catch by Stacey Dobbins. Sam Batu scored a touchdown, second touchdown of the game, and had some great blocks. Those of you who listen to the pod, my history is not illustrious in the stats that are recorded. I'd love to lobby the NCAA to find a way to record blocks.
He blocks 23 junior year.
But Stacey Dobbins had a huge block. Batu had some big blocks. Ian Simpson had big blocks to open up stuff for Caden Pinnock as well. But I'm just floored by the performance from Caden Pinnock. Calm, cool, and collected. Also showed some fire at different points in the game. Really obviously we were not going to go back and watch the film, but from watching it live, nearly mistake-free game. And just when I think about what that means for the future, it gets me excited.
Yeah, I think one thing that we've looked at, and we talked about it with Danny when you were out, was what are we thinking about Caden's development? And this is game 5 now. Technically game 6 with Mercer. So we're 4-1. We're 4-0 against FCS competition with 1 no contest against another FCS team. But I think, Danny had talked about being really impressed with what Caden had done. We've also seen some inaccuracy throwing the ball. Did not see that today. Yeah, it was dialed. And I mean, you guys need to follow us on Instagram. Just follow us on Instagram. Buy a freaking hat because they're all over the place. We're restocking some dope ones. But Instagram, I have a clip of him just fiery after that scramble where he gets spun around and then gets knocked out of bounds inside the 5, just mean mugging a dude. And then in the play where there's 3 straight scrambles that led to his touchdown run in the 4th quarter that made it 34-20, and he gets hit 5 yards into the end zone, and you can hear Dwight getting all PO'd on the video. And he just fiery, dude, just confident and fiery. And quarterbacks who have that level of confidence really encourage a team. And one of the things that we talked about with Mitch last week was the injury bug. And this is a thing. And it has really hit our team. And it's a little Niners-esque, to be honest. We hate to admit it. But the ability to go into the battle for the Golden Horseshoe and grind out a win against a team that just went up to Sac State, who's always flapping their mouth, and upset the Hornets and was coming home for homecoming in a sold-out Mustang Memorial Field. I think the confidence of Caden is and a phrase that I'm going to start using, just like Jacob Sack-Syke, although we were shut out on the sack column today. But the confidence from Caden, I think, was really impressive. I do think, you touched on the wide receiver core a little bit. You touched on the 2 tight ends who played really well. We're staying on the offensive side. we ran into an O lineman's mom who was chatting about, the pod and loving the coverage. And it got us thinking, like, we want Zaire on, we want one of these guys on soon, but we're rushing for almost 200 yards a game. We end up at about 135 today. There's some sack yardage in there with Caden getting sacked a couple times, especially early. But Coach Mike Cody, who we played with, who's been coaching college football for as long as Dwight and I have been professionals in our careers. So that's like 15 years.
UC Davis football stands for tradition, teamwork, and having each other's back, especially when times get tough. That's why we're proud to partner with Bold, Posner, Maddow, Nelson, and Judson, a respected California law firm with over 55 years of experience helping families and businesses prepare for life's unexpected turns. Whether you're navigating estate planning, probate and trust matters, civil litigation, or elder law, the team at BPM&J offers clear, compassionate guidance through California's legal landscape. BPM&J is deeply rooted in Aggie pride. The firm is led by Craig Judson, a double UC Davis alum, and the Sacramento office is supervised by his son, Scott Judson, former Aggie Pack MC and past president of the UC Davis Cal Aggie Alumni Association. 4 other attorneys in the firm are also proud Aggies. From starting a family to managing assets or honoring a loved one's legacy, Scott, Craig, and the BPM&J team are here to help with confidence, care, and compassion. Their services include estate planning, such as wills, trusts, and powers of attorney, incapacity and elder law planning, probate and trust administration and litigation, conservatorships and guardianships, and general civil litigation. With offices in Walnut Creek and Sacramento, BPM&J serves clients throughout California. Visit bpmnj.com to schedule a free consultation. And this season, listeners of the Aggie Pride podcast will receive an exclusive $500 discount on the preparation of a comprehensive estate plan. Just mention the podcast when you book your free consultation with either Scott or Craig. Please note this message does not constitute legal advice. For personalized guidance, contact BPM&J directly. The firm's attorneys are licensed only in California. Bold, Posner, Maddow, Nelson, and Judson. Powered by Aggie Pride.
Also, spend homecoming week with the Cal Aggie Alumni Association. Starting on October 8th, CAAA is hosting a variety of events, including the annual Friday Night Social at Sudworth Brewing. Check out all events at alumni.ucdavis.edu/homecoming. Bank like a champion when you bank with University Credit Union. UCU is the official credit union of UC Davis and is committed to giving every UC Davis student, faculty, staff, and alum a financial advantage. From low loan rates and financial coaching to high savings rates, including our new Elite Certificate Special, University Credit Union helps you reach your financial goals. Visit ucu.org for details. Use promo code Aggie Pride Podcast to get started. University Credit Union is federally insured by NCUA.
We've got a new home for Aggie Pride, a UC Davis football podcast. Visit AggiePridePodcast.com. It's the hub for everything. All our episodes, ways to subscribe for early access, and our brand new Aggie Pride classic hats in navy or beige. While you're there, sign up so you never miss an update, and follow us on all our socials for game day content, throwbacks, and behind the scenes. And don't forget, like, follow, and share the pod so we can keep growing the Aggie fan community.
Shout out Mike Cody.
He was fired up at one point. I saw him like laying into the guys. I think it's like the second or third drive when there was 2 early sacks. But the reality is, like, we have 450 yards of offense and we have another old lineman go down. And I think we do want to like stop for a moment and just recognize like that's a group that Plow said very good things about. The best O-line maybe we've ever had. And there's ups and downs to the start of the year, just like it has been for the tight end room. But I've been impressed with what we've been able to do. And it wasn't the running game. It was the passing game today. Yeah. But any way you make it happen, right?
Yeah, pass pro was there. I mean, I think they responded. It's about how you respond, and I think Coach Cody did what he needed to do and coached them up, and they responded. The final 3 quarters of the game, it takes a different type of approach to be able to set up your mobile quarterback to do what he needs to do without getting called for a holding penalty. And they did their thing.
Yeah, true.
And so shout out to the O-line and shout out to the running backs. Not a huge running day, but efficient. Carter Vargas goes for, just over 3 yards a carry, 11 carries, 34 yards. Toward Jay Fish.
It's the touchdown run, though, by him.
Yeah.
It's the hurdle and that elite play getting into the end zone.
Jay Fish goes for 4 yards a carry. And Jay Fish also had 4 catches for 37 yards in big moments. And so a lot of, how many guys caught the ball? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 guys with receptions and all meaningful. The passing game was, I'd say, elite today. And I mean, our guy JT O'Sullivan does great work on his QB school. Dude, I would love to see a breakdown of Caden's performance, especially the all 22 and of that throw to Zach Jones for the first touchdown and then the second touchdown to Jones. I mean, it was just perfect trajectory ball, just high enough to get over the defenders and hit Zach Jones in the back of the end zone. So I think that, offensively, we took what we could get and did what we needed to do. And no 2 games are the same. So he came in thinking, we were talking about it. When are we getting our pop play from Jordan J. Fish or Carter Vargas? We didn't get that huge run.
No, some sustained drives more than we've seen this year. We're used to throughout the year these very quick hit, big, explosive plays, and that is what Plow wants. And yet at the same time, when you're putting your defense in a position where they're on the field a long time, which this game started similarly to how the cadence of a game has gone throughout the year, where short drives by offense, whether good or bad, and then long drives on the field for defense. But that started to change in this game. There were multiple 10-plus play drives by our offense that lasted, I think there were 2 different scoring drives that lasted 5 minutes each. That might not sound like a 10-minute New England Patriots 4 yards a route drive, but that's long for us. And I think that helps the defense. And I think we saw that. I mean, it's another game where we give up a late touchdown that annoys me because I think even the athletic department, when they put out the article post-game, they're like, UC Davis pulls away from Cal Poly late. Well, when the final score is 34-27, it's like, maybe that doesn't exactly fit. And yet at the same time, it did feel like that because it was 34-20. The Cal Poly, with like 4 minutes and 55 seconds left, goes 3 and out. They have a 4th and 5 from like their own mid-30s or something like that. Paul Wolf, former Davis guy who lost his mind in a personal foul late in the game, and sportsman like on the Cal Poly head coach, he decided to bring on the punting unit. And like, we're sitting there with some of the bigwigs on the sideline, like, what the heck is going on? Like, it's over. And it was, even though they scored with 1.5 minutes left, like, okay, good luck. You got an onside kick. And Sam Batu's got it. And it's over. And so, I will say, like, there's a couple other things I wanted to point out. Like, one was just the nature of it being a significant game against a rival. A couple years ago with Coach Hawks, I think last season, played in front of like 20,000 in Sacramento against Sac State. I think we lost that game. That's when they had, Troy Taylor, Chris Richardson doing their thing. But it was significant. It was a rivalry game. We haven't had that with Cal Poly in a long time. So to play a significant game, they're not amazing. They're 3-2 now. They're 3-3, but we've been good for years on end. And it wasn't 63-10 like last year in Davis where we're all hanging out. That was the APP family day where our kids are all in the end zone rolling down the hill together. I think this to me was what you kind of want. It's a rivalry game with more on the line.
Anything can end up.
Mm-hmm. And it did feel like at the beginning of the week, like this is going to be a challenge because of the injury concerns we knew about. And I think that kind of shifts me, Dwight, to moving forward. Like, even this similarly for the Niners, to be honest, like there's some significant injuries for the Niners, and you're kind of like, okay, like what does that mean for the rest of the year? And the Niners grinded out like another overtime win to go to 4-1 as well last week, and yet you're kind of on a little shaky ground. So yeah, I mean, what do you think? We've talked a lot about offense. I think we should probably talk about the defensive side of the ball and what we saw. We were even trying to figure out at the end, like, did Drew Gofield get hurt? Like, why is he not in the game as much? We saw Cam Totten, the true freshman safety out of Folsom, who's been getting playing time, go out with an injury that looks pretty serious as well. We know about the Connors brothers and the serious nature of their injury and some of the other guys. So yeah, what do you make of like how you think our team's defensive mentality is like given these big time guys being hurt?
Yeah, I think this game was huge, right? I mean, it's a new starting 11 and new guys coming into the rotation. And I think the positive is you got to get the game experience together, new guys in different positions, and come away with the win. The negative is that some guys look like some guys got banged up, and we'll see how they're doing. And if they're able to bounce back or if they have to miss time. The question mark is, can this group continue to level up? Obviously, you can't replace, a set of Connors brothers. Hopefully, we get them back. But in the event that next week, homecoming, Northern Arizona, a worthy opponent, is this group able to gel further and level up? And there's a lot of signs today that is going to happen. Sievers, really stepping up. It's big. The trio of Batson, Riddick, and Stanley all over the field. So it's not going to be exactly the same, but, I have a lot of faith in Coach Coombs. We've talked about Coach Coombs. We talked with Coach Coombs quite a bit, and I have a lot of faith that, he'll put the right guys in the right places to optimize their abilities and be successful. But I mean, it's just not how we started the year. So it's a question mark.
Yeah, and we've talked about depth all along. We talked about it a lot this weekend, which felt like we have a deep team and it's needed because of the injuries that have taken place. There was, speaking of the secondary, that was an area where we felt like there was a lot of depth going into the year. And also, like, let's think about it. Yeah, we play 5 players technically in the secondary. So there's 5 out of 11, or 5 out of the 11 are secondary. So you got a lot of them. You're going to need depth. So Josiah Allen, the UTEP transfer, played a lot more today. Marquise Bell, he made a nice play at one point. Corner played a lot more today. And, Josh Richardson, we haven't really talked about it, or Ty Richardson, I should say. The Tufts University transfer has been out sick, and not out sick, hurt. And so, yeah, just more guys are stepping up. We'll cross our fingers with Drew Cofield. We know a lot of dudes are banged up. But I just look at a guy like Mitch Dixon. He had that big, like, 3rd down conversion on the catch. And then it was a 4th down. That's right. Yeah. Fourth and 1. And little tight end shallow cross on the, kind of delay route or whatever that was. And the receiver out in front had like a pancake block, and then Mitchell just lays the boom on the dude. Guys, I mean, and then even just like on our recap video, which you can see on Instagram, like Mitch is just so fired up after the game, like leading the team over with the Golden Horseshoe to the Davis fans, which is nice to have like an away game where there was that many Davis fans, and like let's keep cheering, people. Like, let's freaking cheer and be good fans. I know it's awkward, especially when crowds are shitty and quiet. And honestly, even though I can feel like a big time extrovert at times, other times I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to cheer in this situation. You're better in some cases. Dwight's just like,
I can't help myself.
You'll
I
do
get
the
a
like,
headache because I yell too much.
but sometimes I'm like, I don't know, I'm a little, this is kind of awkward for me, but it's cool. Just more people come out, more people cheer. Next week's a big one with the Brew Fest, 20 different breweries on Bob Biggs Field, and the football alumni tailgate on the
Krieger Terrace.
the Krieger Terrace above the Edwards Family Athletic Center. I think I said it right because you're back.
Yeah, EFAC.
Yeah, EFAC. And so, yeah, I think we'll kind of close it out here, Dwight. We want to give our Before the Big Sky, look it up. What happened to Del Oro last night? Because Before the Big Sky player of the game is clearly Caden Pinnock.
Oh, no doubt.
Throws for over 300 yards, rushes for 60, throws for 3 touchdowns, runs in 1, got sacked a couple times. So he probably rushed for like 75 yards, led our team in rushing, of course, led our team in passing, gets everyone involved. Like you said, Dwight, 7 different guys catch a ball. I think might have been last week where Plow says he hasn't played up to the level that I would have hoped. And Miles didn't either a lot of last year, in his words. And so for him to be able to challenge a guy like that, and we saw Plow get into a couple guys today during the game, like guys who made some tough, there was some untimely penalties at critical moments, even in the first half, like going down to go up 2 scores in a first half that didn't feel like we should go up 2 scores. And there's a penalty, and he laid into some guys, which you got to do sometimes.
They're young guys.
They are.
Situational football, you got to learn how to, and I think Caden's a great example of this. Like, he gets fired up, but it's never in a situation that will potentially cost the team. And so young guys, young team, some learning moments today, and it's good to win and learn how to navigate the emotions of the game and not have your own emotions cost the team. So yeah, there was some moments like that in the game. But dude, in a battle of top 10s, Del Oro lost last night to number 3 ranked Granite Bay, 14-13.
Wow.
So
that's a juggernaut matchup.
Yeah.
Granite Bay solid.
Yeah.
The Fighting Matt Klingworth. If you know, you know. It's only a handful of you who know.
Maybe not even it.
Yeah. Interesting. Well, yeah, definitely the Caden Pinnock game of the season so far. I mean, I think that was it. Jordan Fisher had his moments. The wide receivers, I would say, also
pass catchers,
really, really had an impact. The Stacey Dobbins made some really big plays. Zach Jones made some really big plays, and then the tight ends with Winston being out. I think that was awesome. And there's a clip at the end of our recap video of Winston holding the Golden Horseshoe, and the dude is just, for those who listened to last week's pod, like, he is just such a good teammate, and you can see it. Like, I saw it in pregame, saw it during the game, saw it in postgame, and so yeah. Any closing thoughts, Dwight, from the first game you were able to see in person this year?
Yeah. Incredible to get the win. Incredible to see Caden Pinnock doing his thing live and in person. Incredible to see the whole squad, this year's squad, and incredible to be down here in SLO to dangle the horseshoe out there and then bring it back to where it belongs in Davis. Beautiful environment, beautiful time with friends and family, and yeah, my heart is full. My heart is happy. I'm excited for the team. Hopefully, have all the faith in the world and the training staff to get everyone right and as healthy as they can be for homecoming next week.
Yeah. So last year we did the Brock's defensive tackles, cackles, and Dwight's wideout shoutouts. You kind of did a defensive tackle cackle. You shared joy right there.
Yeah.
And so I'll be a Dwight's wideout shoutouts and say that we ran into David Meyer, posted him.
That's right.
He's like underneath a scoreboard wearing his cowboy boots, hanging out with Cal Poly guys. Yeah, he just wore black. And he said when the teams came out, he was like dapping up all the Cal Poly guys. Because for those of you who don't know, played 4 years at Cal Poly, then grad transferred to Davis last year, then was one of the best FCS linebackers in the country last year for Davis. And he said, then the Davis team came out and he's dapping all the guys on the Davis team. I'm like, so what a wild game for him and how cool for us. And we've reached out to him before, like, dude, we want to get you on the pod, but we want to get everyone on the pod. Like there's only 1 or 2 a week. Like we wish we could have 1 million people on, but like we just can't. So that was cool to see him. It's cool to see Phoebes pregame. It's cool to see B-Tuck, Brandon Tucker, guys that we played with back in the day.
Aaron Latsky, for those guys who played in the early 2000s, Aaron Latsky, great D-end. He's actually my cousin. And we ran into him and his family. I didn't know they had moved down to Cal Poly, to San Luis Obispo. And so we're going to meet up tomorrow. But just you never know when you travel with the Aggie faithful, you never know who you're going to run.
Yeah, we're walking out of the stadium. And of course, Sam Golgolski's dad's there. And I'm trying to think, what's this lady's name?
I forget.
I'm blanking on it and you're going to hate us. I'm so sorry. But they're like, they parked far away. We're like, just hop in Dwight's brand new Land Cruiser. That's thick. For those who know Dwight, he's finally not driving the Toyota Camry from 1992 or whatever. He has a beautiful new car.
Stayed in the Toyota family.
Yeah. And so anyways, it's probably because of our sponsors, which, BPM and J representing, a lot of other companies representing out there. And so appreciate y'all. We got some cool stuff that we're going to be sharing. Homecoming week should be good. We'll have a post honoring a lot of our sponsors this week, which will be great. But driving them back to their car and just kind of hearing about them listening to the podcast on the way down and the Sam McKim one as well. And so many people listening to the podcast. Great to hear. And, I just kind of think, my closing thoughts are, it does make me feel a little bit San Francisco 49er fandom. The difference is I think our quarterback is healthy and the star of the show.
Yeah.
And this was definitely like him being the star of the show type game. But yeah, there's a lot of air in my belly right now because I'm like, there's a lot of challenges going on injury wise. And how are we going to navigate that? And UCLA fired their coach and they go play better last week. And then this week they freaking upset Penn State. And sometimes like big things happen and your initial reaction as a human is to like really galvanize and make the best of it and overcome it by like winning those first couple games after a new coach or winning one for like, the Connors brothers couldn't play today. What's next week going to be like? Can you sustain that? Are we that deep? The schedule will continue to reveal. And so I'm just, very cautious about the future. And yet a lot of people asked us, how long have you been doing the pod today? Even this guy we met at Woodstocks tonight after the game. We're like, oh, really only like a year. And so we're just kind of grateful that like last year we won 11 games. And this year we're 4-1, 4-0 against FCS, should be 5-0. So the dudes are balling, and it's another fun team to cover. And I was telling Dwight, like, because he's so excited to see the team in person, like, dude, this is a really fun team to watch. Like,
we're lying.
A bunch of dudes that are really fun to watch. So thank you all for listening. We're going to enjoy our Ethiopian old fashions. And go to bed. Go Eggs.